We come to this place for magic, to the Riot Games arena, to laugh, to cry, to care. Because we need that, all of us. That indescribable feeling we get when the lights begin to dim and we go somewhere we've never been before, not just entertained, but somehow reborn, together. Dazzling images on a huge LED screen, sound that I can feel. Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Our players feel like the best part of us, and stories feel perfect and powerful. Because here, they are. The LCS. We make playoffs better.
Hits out. Ulting.
Yep.
I flashed out.
We win here. EM4. Look, Poppy.
I have ulti still. I still have ulti, okay?
Yeah, look.
Keep going if you can.
Yeah, I'm nothing. I'm nothing.
He might get snared. He's snared.
It's all you guys.
Nothing. I have ulti if you want. Ori flash? No, right?
No flash,
Ori, no flash. Look for it.
I'm looking at
Zin.
Yeah, looking
AD
at
after.
That's
That's it.
Wait, AD? I can shield you.
Good chair?
It's just bank.
It's just bank, I think.
Nice drop, guys. My champ's really balanced.
Your champ is really balanced. We kind of fizzed them early, no?
Big jokes is just vegan, no?
Yeah,
I started the lane with 100 HP, and this guy couldn't lane.
Freak.
I'm tanking.
I have
One
shield
more?
for you.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice guy.
Okay.
Okay.
Sedge ulti?
They're going.
TPing.
I can only hit Sedge. Okay, kill Sedge.
It's not good.
It's not good now.
Like a rebel?
Yeah.
Turret's gone.
I have nothing.
We kill?
No, nothing.
Round.
Sedge no flash. Going flash.
Front. I got stun after.
Oh.
Let's get out after.
Yeah, can you guys...
It's just this guy.
Over a kill, but you know what? Energy. They get stomped in the game one. They're gonna stomp them right back in game two, and the series is tied 1-1.
Come back a bit. I can't enter right now. Look at Vi. Vi's walking up too far.
Watch out MF after.
Yeah.
Watch out MF.
Brown no flash.
Lily no flash.
Okay, that's that.
It goes over to Spica. The rest of Energy now have to fight through the bullet time as he gets interrupted by Huhi. Spica now finds himself in the backline. Licorice all out on FBI, brings him in isolation and takes him down. The rest of Energy are forced to run.
Quay no flash in.
Okay,
No flash in.
Look way.
Yeah. He's dead.
Nice.
Big.
I'm looking on this guy.
Yeah, this guy's just griefing.
Watch hedge after.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Sedge.
Popping off.
Run away.
Yo, you have a
Slow,
up here.
very slow.
Okay. When they walk here,
Okay, I'm going now.
Okay, looking.
Walk up. I'm getting
walking.
Look.
Zeri. Hell yeah!
Okay.
Palafox, Dokla, and FBI. Can they pull out the Hail Mary? Spica sends it. Palafox is blown up. Dokla with the slicing maelstrom only finds one. It's it. Dignitas will push through. They dig deeper. They will bleed it out. But Dignitas will not throw this season away.
Welcome to the LCS waiting room after a banger series. We have Dignitas treats here. I feel like because you won.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Had you not clutched it out, I don't know if you'd have the mood to show up today.
I don't know if I could actually show up today. I mean, yesterday I think I aged like 5 years. So I'm an old man today here at the desk.
Wait, how was it? Okay, the last game had to be the most insane to be in that room. How was it for you, that roller coaster of like, oh, we got it, we threw it, we got it, we threw it?
I mean, I don't know what to say. I was just like, yeah, it's just lost. Like, pack it up. Like, it's probably just GG, the split's over. Like, I'm just going to go home to Sweden, I guess. But then, I mean, obviously it was insane that we came back after the Elder and the Baron. I was like, Jesus, we actually found a way to win this. So it was like a massive relief, to be honest.
Nice.
How's the energy moving forward? You actually have a relatively quick turnaround. Next Friday, you guys play again.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on obviously today's series. We play the loser of today's series. So it's going to be interesting to watch as well. But I think the mood is better in general, and especially coming off the week of scrims. We had a pretty good week of scrims, I would say. So we were confident against NRG. We didn't quite show a perfect level of gameplay, I would say. But it is what it is. We came out on top, so we take those.
Actually, because like just following up on that one, I guess it's been like the full split narrative about like Dignitas scrims, and then hearing that this week has been like a big improvement and kind of a little bit of why, what you guys have been focusing on. Could you like tell me what has been the process like this week behind the scenes a little bit?
I think a lot of it came down to kind of being like, okay, now our backs are against the wall. Like we really screwed up the last series, 0-3 against 100 Thieves. So I think it was kind of refiguring out what we want to do in scrims and kind of what direction we want to take. So I think in general, the direction we took was better. I don't think we're like a perfect team by any means still, but I think that everyone just put kind of more effort and unified in a single direction. So I think that's the biggest improvement.
Nice.
Yeah, looking forward to the series next week.
Yeah.
Gauntlet runs are always pretty fun. If
Lower
you can
brackets.
make it happen. It's definitely possible to make it through the lower bracket. Also, the end of the regular season means the LCS awards, but also the Challengers League are also recognizing their next generation of talent.
With the end of the regular split, the voting has begun for the Summer Split Awards. Each role will have their top 3 performers honored in the All-Pro teams. The player who had the best performance in their first split of Challengers League competition will earn themselves the Rookie of the Split Award. The most improved player has shown the most growth of anyone in the league in the Summer Split, and we've seen a number of players show marked improvement this year. And lastly, the most coveted award, the Most Valuable Prospect. It's awarded to a player who could play in LCS now and would look even better in their second year. Many of the previous winners like Dokla, Lucio, and Masu have gone on to be fan favorites in the LCS. And for the first time ever, we might have a repeat winner. Players, casters, and co-streamers will be submitting their ballots. Who do you think deserves to be recognized? With full Fearless Best of Fives right around the corner, always remember, the future of the LCS starts right after the LCS.
Tune into that after this, but it's going to be hopefully 5 games from now.
Yeah.
Let's check out the bracket and also explain the format, because Treats, I think you said something incorrect a few minutes ago.
Uh-oh.
You only play the loser if the loser's 100 Thieves.
Oh, that is true.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Because the lower seed, you play the lower seeded loser of the 2 upper bracket games.
So if there's an upset somehow and 100 Thieves moves on or something, then
Then you'll play the loser of tomorrow's series.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I did not know that, but I'm glad you guys clarified.
Yeah, there we go.
I just get told who I'm playing, and then we prep for that, so I'm not the best person to ask.
Yeah, also an interesting note for the next 2 series that we're going to be having on Saturday and Sunday, because the winner of both these series go to the winner bracket final. That's going to mean the lowest they can finish is 3rd.
True.
And top 3 teams go to Worlds.
Yep.
So the winner of today's series does actually qualify for the World Championship. And also a reminder, that Dig series that will be either 100 Thieves or the loser of FlyQuest C9 is going to be on Friday.
Yep.
Friday. Remember that.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we got bonus LCS here in the playoffs. And we saw the video on the NACL Awards. We have a lot of the LCS awards.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Team Liquid on these awards.
Yep.
A lot of Team Liquid on these awards. So coaching staff of the split often does go to the first place team. This is very well deserved, I think. I think it's a nice call out to coaches, which are definitely some people who get a little recognition most of the time.
Yeah. How
do you feel about the coaching staff split? Because that's always been a point of contention. This one is like very legitimate based off of just how good of how strong of a macro this team has had. But like, just generally feeling, how have you felt about the award? Because like, it's always been a question about like, first place team usually gets it.
Yeah, I think it's always tricky to know. Even I don't know how good their coaching staff is or how good other coaching staffs are. So I think it's very hard to judge. But like you said, I think you have to go for something. And I think in general, TL has a very strong direction, good mid game, and like good fundamentals. So I think it's well deserved. I think Spawn has done a great job with this team in general. So it's deserved, but it's also kind of hard to tell, to be honest.
What do you find to be most valuable in a coach coming in, like as a former player, having been coached, now coming in as a coach, like pretty heavily? What's something that you value most of the coaching staff?
I think a lot of it comes down to like unifying your team and having a clear direction and kind of everyone buying in on what you're selling as a coach. I think a lot of it comes down to kind of being, I guess, like an emotional role figure for the team in general. I think, especially on Dignitas with a lot of veterans, it's kind of like everyone knows how they want to play. We just have to make sure that we do the same thing. So maybe Jensen thinks we should play one way, and then Sven thinks another, and it's kind of the job as coaches to say we're playing this way and hoping for the best in that regard. So it's a lot about direction and kind of emotional stability, I would say.
If you can answer, what's the most difficult thing you've had to face as a coach with this Dignitas team?
There's a lot of things that have been difficult. Obviously, it's also my first time coaching full-time, so it's just difficult from that perspective too. I think in general, it's probably been how to like maximize scrims. I think with a lot of veterans too, it's hard to convince them that scrims are always a place where you can learn. I think obviously everyone tries hard in scrims, right? It's not about that. It's just about maximizing every little thing that you can get from scrims. And just in terms of drafts too, like maximizing drafts and maximizing picks you want to play on stage. So I think that's been probably the biggest struggle so far.
Yeah. And hopefully you get to coach for many more weeks. Not just an additional 5 days.
Too.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with the rest of the bracket. Let's check out more TL awards, though. They also managed to win Most Improved Player, and this was Most Improved Player of the Year. I'd say the actual criteria is definitely left open to interpretation, but it is hard to argue about this guy's ability to improve across the year.
Yeah, I think the second player that he might have been up against, and he had kind of more of a downward trend in summer only, was Quid, who will be his opponent today. But the biggest thing about APA is that even when he came into the league, people were like, he has such a good work ethic. If only he can get up to like LCS level. And I think the biggest thing that's paid off for him is seeing how much of a grinder he is and how willing he is to take feedback, and how he has taken that feedback across multiple areas of the game, which I think have validated a lot of things that people said about him initially, even if they weren't high on like his actual mechanics.
Yeah, it's just night and day a difference between being seen as like 8th of 8th mid laners last year, being brought in haphazardly, of course, because of the own internal issues that were happening on Team Liquid, to then coming into this year as the best mid laner. I think that's as most improved as you can get, like the clear definition of the award. So it's pretty insane to see that from him and see that work ethic pay off.
And I think that's also kind of the coaching staff where that comes in as well. I think a lot of credit obviously goes to AP himself. He has to put in the effort, but also the direction that both the coaching staff and then they have obviously Impact and CoreJJ is kind of like secondary coaches.
Supplementary coaching staff.
I think a lot of it also comes down to that and kind of helping APA find his groove. Because like you said, I think his work ethic and kind of his ability to grind and improve for himself is already good. But then when you have that kind of over you helping yourself as well, I think that's when you can grow the most. So impressive, honestly, by APA.
Absolutely, and a rising tide does lift all boats. Team Liquid's first team represents that because they managed to get 4 players be first team All-Pro, and then UmTi still got an All-Pro nod. It was just their team, and it is interesting to see the difference of experience as well, with CoreJJ having 7 first teams, Impact only getting his 3rd first team, even though he's had over 10 nominations for first, second, or third team. And it's been an amazing mix for Team Liquid.
And the reason why I think it's really important to count just first team All-Pros, especially for people like CoreJJ that has been kind of heralded and seen as like the best support in the region for such a long time, but then had a little bit of a drought, right? And a lot of people questioned him in the past prior years in terms of his individual skill and how he's able to like command a team. And this has been like a resurgence of that. So being able to see that from both him and Impact, who's been on the list, it seems, every split, but then now being seen as clearly the best, being flanked around with new players, I think is incredible. Just not only the conversation about the younger guys, but about the older players within that team.
I do have a small bit here just with the success that Team Liquid has seen, and it was shown a little bit in the fact that they won the Spring Championship, but this is the type of team that CoreJJ has wanted to have for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Because he has had this theory, especially after they had the super team 2 years ago with the Bjergsen, Santorin, and just like this team of super veterans. And Treats, I don't need to put you on the spot here, but I imagine there are a lot of difficulties when you have a team of 5 veterans because it's hard to find a direction to move.
For sure.
For this team, it's very clear what direction they want to go in. CoreJJ is essentially the captain of the team. Him and Spawn work together to set the direction of the team.
Yeah.
Impact is the top laner because they kind of play their own game, can also set his own direction. And then everybody else is very young and willing to listen to CoreJJ. So that mix of experience allows for such a unified plan on how to play the game, and it's really worked out for this team.
Yeah, and I think also with rookies, it's kind of the thing where they get hyped to listen to CoreJJ.
Yeah.
I don't think that like Sven gets hyped listening to Jensen the same way. I think they're both just like, I know how to play my game type of thing, right? So it's like not to throw shade at them, but obviously it's easier when you have someone like AP who's like, yeah, I'll listen to CoreJJ because he's my GOAT, right? So I think kind of that also angle where the rookies just find more trust in the veterans, I guess.
Yeah.
And when you have a lot of veterans, even though they trust each other, I think it's harder to find that like deep connection, I guess.
Absolutely, and all that, we only have one more thing to gas up Team Liquid.
What's that?
We're looking at the All-Pros in today's matchup.
Wow.
Oh, no!
Fair enough, yeah, fair enough.
Thieves doesn't have anybody in the first 4 teams. How could Team Liquid possibly lose?
Oh my God, when we ran this last year.
Seems impossible.
When we ran this last year, it was mostly to show the fact that it's like, actually, we really undervalue these players.
Yeah, I think, so the big thing to point out with 100 Thieves is that they had a rough summer until recently, right? And a lot of that I do think was meta dependent. I think the meta shift was definitely not in their favor with the way that River likes to play, and also in particular the way he likes to play around their solo laners.
Yeah.
However, with Tomo coming in, I think one big thing that has improved overall is the addition of Tomo does give more flexibility across the map to those players. But then also, they have improved on lane swaps. This is a classic, like, this is a top laner energy from Sniper right here. This is like, whenever I read this quote, I think of Zeus at MSI just being so depressed about the fact that lane swaps are going on. And then this is a little thing from Tomo about them practicing swaps because they knew that TL specifically, their opponents today, were going to try it. That they really needed to practice it, and it's been a focus of theirs. So I'm gonna go through some swaps against Dignitas. Treats, I'm gonna want you to chime in, especially the certain point here.
I got you.
But we're gonna start here with River is actually gonna place a ward right here that later is going to spot as Dig invades. And then the other thing to watch right here is that already we see that Eyla and Tomo are moving up here, and Sniper is going to rotate down to bot lane. So I'll fast forward a bit through the early map movements, but basically Dignitas is going to invade, and this is the initial setup, right? So what actually is going to happen is what the cast has been calling Australian lanes, where you're going to get a 2v2 bot, and then the 1v1 down here in the bot lane's top side, and then the 1v1 in bot. And this actually ends up in favor of 100 Thieves because they are going to be able to get the push here, and then also on the top side. This is a little bit later on. As this is going on top side, so Sven gets really low in this trade. Eyla is coming up. As this is going on, River is gonna come around from here, and Spica is actually gonna look for a play coming up here. Eyla stops this back. While this is happening, down on bot side, Sniper actually ends up getting flash out of Licorice. As soon as he hits 6, he ults down on bot side. So that is advantageous for 100 Thieves, and River is able to come in, get first blood because of that earlier exchange. So these lanes did end up in favor of 100 Thieves from the initial swap, even with them matched. And then going forward a little bit more here, we're going to end up seeing this play on the bot side. And this is where I want your input, Treats, because I actually thought you guys had a really good setup here. We're gonna see a cross map play from 100 Thieves on the other side, on top side later on. But I thought Spica had a good setup. The wave is pushing in. So I have to ask while you're here, why did you guys not go for this dive?
I think a lot of it comes down to kind of the, I guess, mental hit from the early game when it didn't go super well. I think a lot of the swaps come down to kind of the confidence of diving the enemy. And I think especially also in our series yesterday against NRG, they didn't really have this confidence either. So I think it's kind of whoever takes the first shot at diving the enemy top laner and succeeds kind of wins. So I think that at this point we probably just weren't confident enough to dive, even though I think we should as well. And then obviously with the early lane swap, I think 100 Thieves just came out on top. So I think it was mostly like kind of a mental gap in this game, honestly. And yeah, like I said, whoever dives the top laner first successfully is gonna come out on top. And then obviously they do this to Licorice after. Yeah,
and this ends up like after all of these plays happen, you basically are about 1k gold behind, but in particular, Renekton is still in a good spot, and also Tomo is in a really good spot coming out of these lanes. I'm glad to get your input though, because I was sitting back here and I was like, I feel like they could have gone for that dive, you know? It would have been like a cross-map play. And in pointing out like how lane swaps work, I'm really glad you brought that up, because it comes down to like so much minutia that you might not even see the result of until like several plays later.
Yeah. And it's actually pretty incredible seeing the rapid development in a lot of teams when it comes to lane swap so frequently. Like 100 Thieves, I didn't feel like, you even saw it in the quotes, that they were a good lane swap team coming into playoffs. And then even you guys, like just yesterday, I feel like really rapidly improved in lane swaps as well. So all of it's coming pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think it also comes a lot from scrims, obviously, where you practice this over and over. I think
how
every
annoying,
team.
How many? What's the lane swap frequency in scrims? Is it like 80% at this point because teams are trying to get practice?
I think it depends on the teams. I think teams like TL, for example, think that they're really confident, so they don't do it as
doing
much.
It less now.
Yeah, so I think the teams that have kind of like fallen behind a bit try it more. So like us, 100 Thieves, someone like FlyQuest maybe too, I think are trying it out a bit more. So it depends on the teams, but it's a lot of scrims, and I hope that Riot removes it. I don't
They've been trying.
Yeah,
they have
We're going to see what happens with the end of this year. I don't see how they can make large-scale changes before Worlds. Onto the topic of the series, though, Tomo's the player who has made the biggest difference for 100 Thieves since he joined. There is definitely some strength of schedule related things here, because they did play Shopify and Immortals in their final 2 weeks, but these are also really, really, really big statistical improvements for the team.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for me isn't just that Tomo is performing well individually, because I think he has brought more stability to their bot lane and also more carry potential.
Yeah.
However, for me, it's additionally what he can free up from some pressure he creates for their solo laners, again, right? And slight meta shifts in their favor as well.
Yeah, and he's going to be going up against Yeon, who has actually had, against all of the teams for the whole year, very good stats as well.
Oh,
He's
those look
been
great.
having his best split in his entire career.
Just his laning phase has been something that has been noted from every player. In fact, Tomo himself said the strongest bot lane that he's ever faced has been Yeon and CoreJJ. Yeon's found his confidence this year. That's something we've talked about pretty consistently, but not only his lane's been great, but also his team fighting. So it's going to be a big challenge for Tomo.
Yeah, I think in general his consistency has just gone up. I think before he had like moments of brilliance, but I think now him and CoreJJ have found their groove and their consistency. And I think that's something I also value really highly in general for bot lanes. I think some bot lanes can have moments of brilliance and kind of pop off one game here and there, and then maybe have an int game here and there. But I think what's been so good for TL is just their consistency across the board, and especially for Yeon.
Absolutely. Moving on to the mid lane as well. This is a surprisingly hyped matchup if you were to take a snapshot about a year ago. So these are a little bit cherry picked, but it's just a reminder that about a year ago when Quid first joined 100 Thieves, people thought he was trash.
Yeah.
And then also APA, after he got completely bodied in summer playoffs by Palafox, people thought he was trash. And they were able to completely shrug this off, show a huge amount of improvement, win an MVP, and then APA getting first team. Plus, they have a nice bantering relationship.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that both of these guys know what it's like to have the community like shit on them, as we see. Some swears had to be blurred out here, but APA and Quid just going back and forth. And that's been the big thing for me, is even people who are proponents of these players, either Quid coming over from Challengers or APA coming up from NACL, we're like, maybe they're not ready, but they have work ethic, or like, but they have something. I feel like no one can now question like their mechanics and their dedication.
And it just has to feel good, because a lot of the times, you know, we make the criticism about off-season changes based off like knee-jerk reactions on maybe looking at Reddit threads or looking at community sentiment. This is the times where it felt like it was resisted against, and you saw the immediate like aftermath. It's like, give a player some time. Wait a minute, give him a massage too.
Hold on, we only saw Coach Hands. Both coaches are fully in massage mode.
Oh my God, those look good too.
Speaking of coaches, the coach cams from these two teams have been exquisite.
It's true.
True.
the full gamut.
I remember that one. I remember the spawn fist in the table. That was
Yeah.
Dignitas, I remember.
Going through multiple different water bottles.
And him wrangling his water bottles, just absolute choke marks on those bottles. So just, if you appreciate water bottles, don't send them near his way.
Really awesome stuff. And also, in case you missed it, you can now subscribe to the LCS Twitch channel. You will unlock emotes and other features like access to vote on an exclusive ProView VOD through Discord. So if you're a sub, make sure to get in on that and vote for the ProView VOD. And coaches are getting a lot of play now, right,
Yeah.
Emily? You talked to both of them before the series.
Hello, right before the Team Liquid 100 Thieves match, I am joined by Spawn and Golden Glue once again. The old NACL grudge match coming back, in addition to last Split's playoffs. So first, I'll start with you, Spawn. What is the most challenging thing about facing a Grayson team, or a Golden Glue team?
I think that he empowers his players really well. I think it's actually something he did all the way through NACL, uses their unique strengths very well. So when you look at this 100 Thieves lineup, obviously a lot of that's based around fighting and skirmishing. We have to be really prepared that, you know, even if they're behind, if they're ahead, they're probably going to play the game a very similar way, look to fight us, and we need to be aware of it, because in the past, even Split 1, it caught us by surprise, and we ended up losing that game. So we're going to make sure that, you know, that's something we're ready for.
And then for you, Golden Glue, what's the most challenging thing about facing a Spawn team?
I always feel like Spawn's teams are always like, they just have very clean macro and just very good structure. I always feel like they're the standard to beat. They're always playing like the meta and mid game like well, and I don't know, he just always feels like the standard to beat, and it's always fun to get a go up against him both in NACL and LCS, and I think he's done a great job with the team this year, and I'm excited to hopefully get revenge off last year's playoffs, or last Split's playoffs.
And speaking of, everyone has kind of identified Team Liquid as the team to beat in the LCS. I'll get to you in a minute. I hear you laughing in my ear. But going up and facing them, you guys had a really good performance against Dignitas. What do you think you've improved on the most that's prepared you for Team Liquid today?
I think our overall early game and be able to deal with swaps we've improved on a lot, and I think that was something that I was very worried about going against Team Liquid, and now that I feel more confident with our ability to do that, I feel a lot more confident in our ability to face off against TL.
And then for you, I'm not going to ask you, are you the team to beat? But in terms of staying at the top, you've been really, I guess, disciplined and kind of keeping your team consistent. How difficult is that when you are at the top of the standings?
Not difficult at all, to be honest. I think, you know, the way you stay number one is you train like you're number 2 or 3. In our case, sometimes we train like we're number 7, so it really helps us. In all seriousness, though, I think that the difference between the best LCS team in the league and the worst LCS team in the league is only like 2 or 3%. So on any given day, if you don't show up, you can get beaten. Something that we just drill into each other, our teammates, like a lot, is that, you know, we got to play our game, we got to play well, we got to make sure we stay disciplined, do the things that we do well, not try and become a different team. So that's what we've tried to do over the last 2 weeks. You know, been in hiding a little bit, scrimming a lot, and hopefully we come out and have some good things.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join me. And TL versus 100 Thieves will be on the other side of this.
Thank you for that, Emily. It's time for predictions. I will say,
any outliers?
Team Liquid is undefeated, and it's a 1 seed versus the 5 seed. So I don't expect anybody to actually predict 100 Thieves. What's interesting is I thought I was going to be spicy with the 1 game, but it looks like you both agree.
Yeah, Discord's the one that decided that they weren't going to win a game.
Treats, if 100 Thieves wins, how do they do it?
I think a lot of it comes down to them having like a stable early game and kind of a scaling comp. I think Thomas looked good on champs like Smolder and Kai'Sa and Zeri, these like late game scaling champs, and I think that TL usually plays very slow in their games.
Yeah.
I think that's also why we like playing into TL as well. So I think if 100 beat them, it's because the game is slow and they just have a better teamfight draft, to be honest.
We'll have to see how this one plays out. That is it from us at the lounge. Let's send it into the games.
I will not back down. If you hit me, I'll hit you back.
What season is it right now? Big season.
We're gonna 2-0 them very easily.
Oh, he kind of like stole my whole flow.
Welcome back to the Summer 2024 LCS playoffs. Today, it's a David versus Goliath upper bracket battle as 100 Thieves sets its eyes on a bigger target after destroying Dignitas 3-0 last weekend. Meanwhile, TL continue their title defense as they march toward the undefeated season. Finals weekend and a spot at Worlds is on the line. Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves starts now. I'm Azael, joined today by Kobe and Emily for the cast. We're in for a treat here. Team Liquid coming to this big favorites, but 100 Thieves, I think, a lot more on people's radar after how strong they looked last week.
Yeah, I think the big things coming out of 100 Thieves were they looked better in swap situations, and additionally, Tomo just has been such a great addition to this lineup. Not only does he have carry potential coming out of the bot lane, but in my opinion, he also frees up pressure from the solo laners, and in particular, I think that's how 100 Thieves like to play.
Also, we got to see some really good individual player improvements from this split. Quid, I felt like, was just on fire in the last series that they played. He played the Azir, Smolder, and Zeri in those 3 games versus Dignitas. In this one, just the Azir is banned against him. I like Team Liquid taking out the Lilia. That is the primary jungler on the patch, and UmTi even prefers playing the tanks anyways, or at least Team Liquid as a team prefer him to play engaged tanks in the jungle anyways, and Lilia is always a really big annoyance for those type of UmTi champs.
And this is already super interesting to me because the Vi is picked up by TL. That is also a huge takeaway from 100 Thieves. When we saw them be super successful before, that Vi Taliyah combo was actually crucial for River and Quid, and they kept getting it a lot in spring. So that's a really interesting takeaway, and also different than a lot of other junglers we've seen UmTi play over the course of this particular split.
It's really interesting with the Smolder hover. That's something that Streets was talking about these scaling champions for Tomo, how he feels that he really pilots them well. That 100 Thieves, if they can have this strong early game and allow that to get Tomo to the late game, that he can really perform well in these 5v5s. This team really has had such a resurgence since Tomo came in as the substitute AD carry. They've been looking so much stronger across the board, and it's been interesting to even listen into some of the comms because you wouldn't think about a new player, a sub, a rookie, this guy coming in, leading the way on some of these calls, but he really is, which is very impressive.
Yeah, it was really, really cool to hear how vocal he is in comms. And obviously this Smolder can be for Tomo or Quid. We have seen Quid play it as well just last week. Over on TL side, the Ornn already locked in for TL, and additionally the Taliyah in tandem with the Vi. The most interesting thing here to me is that Senna has fallen so far through this draft.
That's the first thing I was gonna say when the Ornn got locked in, because if the Senna would drop super far, then you could have some pretty good options here. But I definitely don't expect Senna to go through the next round of bans as well on this patch. Obviously, with the AP ratio buffs, the Enchanter build super popular and super strong now. And 100 Thieves answering here with the Maokai for themselves for the front line to also get good engaged tanks, some structure for their team fights. And we're going to look at them focusing bottom lane here now from Team Liquid, trying to take some champions away from CoreJJ, the TL team captain. On the Rell and the Rakan, he has been absolutely insane for Team Liquid. So 100 Thieves opt to at least take away one of those.
And in this lane swap meta, so many players are calling out Core as being so frustrating to play against. It feels like he's always there when you want him to be there least. If you need to crash a wave, Core's there to screw you over. If you just need to push out that last wave, he's always going to be there to punish. And take away those engage picks, I think would be key, as Core has been having one of his best seasons in recent memory.
Yeah, and we do see the Senna ban coming out of TL. They do not want to give that over to 100 Thieves. We also saw them bring it out in their series against Dignitas. The super interesting thing to me in this specific TL draft thus far is just the Vi and Taliyah is very different than how they've been playing for over the course of this split. But I'm very curious to see how they end up piloting it and what they want to pair with that, because to your point, Azael, I think Core has absolutely been a menace on the map when he's been unlocked and just roaming freely in these lane swap situations.
And Team Liquid definitely did show, last split previously, really good Taliyah usage, especially even at MSI. APA is definitely one of the biggest champs in that meta, and so it is definitely within their wheelhouse. And Vi, of course, is one of those frontline engage, tank type of junglers. So with the extra buffs on the patch, nice little HP and ultimate buff there for him. So we'll see about Team Liquid trying to play, replicate a little bit of what they saw some of the success from Energy in their use of that combo, really bringing that combo back with the guaranteed Vi plus Taliyah. But we're quickly getting a little bit behind here as the Rell was also then locked in 400 Thieves. Looks like both of them setting up for these team fights.
Yeah, Rell locked in, another champion that you mentioned, Emily, and the Alistar is going to be banned away. So really limiting the engage support options here for Core. But the Kai'Sa is going to get locked in.
And I'll be curious to see if this Poppy support is probably going to go with Leona. But the Poppy support was something that you had called out.
also up, which is kind of the most common combo with Kai'Sa.
And this is also something I brought up on the lounge yesterday, was the full dive engage comps here with Kai'Sa. If you can get Kai'Sa through the lane phase, this looks really, really, really good. Having multiple engage options there for Team Liquid, having APA roaming from mid lane on the Taliyah. So 400 Thieves. Now they're worried about what type of other carry can we have that is going to deal with full dive, guaranteed engage. Yeah. You have point-and-click Nautilus, you have point-and-click Vi, and you have Ornn ultimate, which is like 3 screens away almost.
Oh, it's going to be Quid mid on the Dragon here.
Okay.
Yeah, he got his solo kill onto Jensen level 1, so I don't know if you can improve upon that. Maybe we'll see here this type of play, but we're also getting the Varus after those Varus changes.
Yeah, and they've kind of set up a little bit of poke and kite back against what TL want to bring, which, as you said, Kobe, is very like, we are going in, we are diving, and we are getting in there. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can be able to kite back after those initial engages.
And the Varus changes just further pushed Varus towards the on-hit Varus. So this is basically guaranteed, in my eyes, to be on-hit Varus, both because of the changes, but also look what he's facing. A bunch of meatballs, a bunch of frontline. And the one thing it is lacking, though, is safety. So it is definitely going to be a primary target. I expect this game to be kind of difficult for Yeon to play. It's going to be a lot on teammates to peel and to set up and create room for that backline. Of course, Quid as Smolder has a little bit more mobility, or a lot more mobility, so maybe an easier time for him.
Yeah, it could be, but at the same time, there's so much lockdown. If a Vial comes through, if you get hit by that seismic shove, Ornn ult over the top, Kai'Sa diving into the backline, everyone can attack that backline on the Team Liquid comp. This is really a bit of a different style than what we've seen from them so far this split. It is the first Kai'Sa game from Yeon this split. We're going to see if Team Liquid are looking polished, are looking precise in this first game against 100 Thieves as they're making their playoffs debut here. And 100 Thieves going to the second round, trying to continue that success they had against Dignitas. Ooh, a little bit of spice maybe. Potential lane swap here is Yeon is already up on the top side. They're getting some deep wards, trying to scout out what could be going on.
Yeah, whenever Team Liquid is playing, some of the younger top laners, you always have that in the back of your mind. Are they going to hunt for lane swaps regardless of the draft that they've gone for? In this one, Yeon, of course, is hovering up here as Impact is the one showing, and both the top laners are staring at each other.
This is warded out. I think 100 Thieves are going to try to go for a deep wrap and try to get some sort of a play onto UmTi. UmTi has no idea that they could actually be behind him here. This could be a great early start for 100 Thieves. Oh, they sweep it out, and now they're maybe going to get nervous and back off. Oh, he goes back in. We don't know if 100 Thieves are still there, but now he gets the bad news. Should be able to just walk it out. Yep. I feel like they went too early, no? I feel like they should have waited till the Raptors spawned, wait till he's hitting the Raptors so he can walk around behind, because he was still in the brush, so I felt like 100 Thieves kind of preempted the play.
Yeah, usually you want to wait a little bit, but since the ward had got cleared out, I think maybe that was the thought process. They're like, we don't know for sure. And now we're actually zoning Quid away from the wave.
Yeah, this is getting weird as Eyla's going to go in. Not going to be too much more than just the trade, of course, but it is a 2v2 mid. As soon as we started getting so many AD carries in mid, people are like, well, why don't they just double lane mid? They could play to both objectives.
And the main thing to keep track to of these lane swaps here is when you do swap is the jungle camp. So UmTi, since the bottom side of the map is the weak side there for TL, they're the ones swapping their AD carry up to the top side with Impact, by the way, not with CoreJJ. So it's a little bit of a different take.
UmTi is ignited, and Eyla is actually maybe going to be able to push him back off of some of this. The Raptors have reset the little ones. UmTi really does want to be able to grab that experience, but Eyla just being pretty annoying. This is a very active early game here so far between these two teams. Both players, really trying to dissuade the opposing jungles from being able to take more camps.
Yeah, and so Impact here is just trying to get UmTi past Krugs, but back to the Kai'Sa here. Meanwhile, they've got CoreJJ solo Nautilus bottom farming against the Varus, which is going to mean the numbers on the other side of the map here are going to be 3v2 at Sniper being level 1 under tower, large wave.
Yeah, they're going to potentially look for this dive. Sniper's still level 1. Will they start it up? Impact is also only level 1. I think they're going to call it off, as they will just back it up. Eyla being there was enough to dissuade them, and now Sniper's level 2, so the window has passed. But this is so interesting. Having Core being the one as that support, soaking on the bottom side. Did either of you catch if he actually bought a support item, or is he playing D-Shield?
We haven't seen the inventory pop up in a long time.
So he is actually playing a support item, but he's still the one catching farm bots. So this is very atypical. We saw a bit of an adjustment yesterday in the Renekton game, where they put the Renekton top, with the AD, where Huhi was kind of just roaming around the jungle and leashing for his jungler to give Dokla a little bit more experience in that game. So this is another variation here, as Core's now level 3. Yeon kind of shared experience with Impact, so there seems to be this kind of new evolution where teams are putting more emphasis on trying to get that experience for their top laners in this 2v2 with the AD.
Yeah, and Sniper is going to be the one that comes in with the experience advantage as a Renekton into Ornn lane too. So pretty beneficial for Sniper as far as the beginning of this game. He's very much a lane focused, a one-on-one focused type of player as River tries to go in.
Oh, nice flash forward there for River with the twisted advance, but it's just going to be to actually retreat. I thought Eyla was maybe going to come over the wall, and now a good bramble smash from River, disengaging the Q forward from UmTi. Thought that would be more of an aggressive play instead of defensive, but River just uses it to proc the phase rush and run.
Yeah, and I feel like both teams in this weird adjusted swap that we've seen, again, have put a lot of their focus, interestingly enough, on the mid lane and that kind of mid-jungle combo.
One thing to note is because Core was down here getting experience, he's level 4. Eyla is only level 2, but Tomo obviously has an experience advantage on Yeon. And it is Team Liquid slightly behind, 300-400 gold so far off of this lane swap. They traditionally have been the team in the league to get by far the most gold in these lane swaps. So this is, 100 Thieves handling the situation quite well.
Yeah, I think 100 Thieves with some nice benefits. You mentioned the over-leveled AD carry, as well as the little bit there for Sniper. Sniper actually went for a recall already to grab his double longswords and refillable potion 2 here for the Renekton. So we'll see if he can get anything done in lane. This has been one of the fun stories to track with 100 Thieves, and with it being Sniper's rookie split. But bunch of solo kills and a bunch of success for him.
Yeah, and as we see here, this is the gold difference.
Oh, fighting
Tomo
bot
might be in
side. Tomo
trouble.
in a lot of trouble. Tomo, it's burning down. Will he survive? No! First blood claimed by Core, and they're going to get a second one. That one's easy, and it's given over to Yeon. The 2v2 goes heavy in TL's favor.
Is it an over-leveled AD carry or an over-leveled support carry? CoreJJ!
Bot and support div.
I was going to say, what you didn't know is that Core is actually the carry in this lane.
Look at the pings. The Eyla spam pinging Nautilus.
Look at the chat.
Back to Academy, bringing Vish. Woo!
Wow.
Starting off spicy.
Yeah, APA is going in.
APA down T and 10 CS mid, just farming it out. Trash talking bot.
Maybe down CS, but he is up chatting words per minute.
And already we see TL rotating up. They should be able to get this grub take. As we see this 2v2 again.
Oh, that's just a really nice hook. Just kind of bends it around.
And then he puts the Ignite on, so even with the barrier there from Tomo, they fully have it. They can fully chase with that much of an...
in trouble. They're going to actually dive back on live. He gets the root. He flashes back to the tower, but the hook is there from Core, and that's another easy kill there from TL. Sorry to cut you off, but Yeah, back on live, and it could be potentially another kill, as now River's going to go in. This is forcing the cleanse. Core had tower aggro maybe there or something. They actually forced him back off. Otherwise, I think River could have been in trouble, but a good move up to topside from TL's bot lane off of that. Gets him another kill on Sniper, and now Sniper's behind. Impact's the one that actually picked up that kill.
Yeah, and that's off of them getting those 2 kills in bot, rotating up for the grub take. This is when TL, I think, really start to shine in lane swaps, is like, not just with the initial swap, but in a swap situation where you're looking at lane assignments in relation to neutral objectives. They've been able to get a balloon this gold lead up to 1.4K just off of that kill and then this dive topside.
Yeah, really, really smart assignments from Team Liquid. Able to manufacture their 1.5 thousand now gold lead as they crash another double-stacked cannon wave up on the tower. Here's what you saw in the picture-in-picture.
Yeah.
Good call out there, Azael, but another CoreJJ play. That was beautiful.
Yep, sets it up, and Sniper getting pressured here again. Oh, Hex Flash out of the brush. Doesn't quite get him, but they do get the plate, and they are continuing to put the pressure on this Renekton here. And they have managed to extend that gold lead even further. Impact now maybe in some trouble as there's 3 members down here around him. Can he walk it out? Just barely clipped by the ulti there. Gonna try to turn things around. Vi is here as well. Ayla's down. UmTi now in the 1v2. He could be in trouble, and Sniper as well. It's a dive on both sides. Action across the map. TL, though, landing the bigger punch here as they get the extra man.
They're landing the bigger punch, and Sniper, as this Renekton, is in such a rough situation, right? Where he's getting dove by this bot side. Meanwhile, Impact, with the help of UmTi, is actually able to trade one for one on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, I like what you both did there. The bigger punch coming from Vi with the biggest,
yeah, you like that?
The biggest punch of all. He was in the brush. Look at the mini-map right now. You see UmTi on the mini-map going through to the brush that they have the ward on. And then he kind of waits here for Impact to be able to set it up with his Ornn ultimate. Impact goes down 100%, but they do get the trade kill, although it also costs his flash. So that was actually both Impact and UmTi's flash invested in order to get that 1-for-1. Meanwhile, Sniper does not get afforded the opportunity to go 1-for-1. He has nobody up there with him. The 2v1 dive from the TL squad up on the top side of the map also pays off.
Yeah, that was just really nicely handled by Core and Yeon, playing that very, very well. Core has been a bit of a menace, got the experience lead. It actually ended up mattering. Normally, I think gold diff for support's a bit of a meme, but he's making it work. He's up nearly 1,000 gold.
Yeah, I was going to say, he has almost a 1K gold lead.
And he's up a full level, so this is actually now 2 levels periodically, just for a little bit, but still, he's going to be a big threat.
CoreJJ had a massive lead in the votes for first team all-pro support, as well as being one of the discussion topics for MVP of the whole league. You know, unfortunately for him, his teammates, especially Impact,
team's too good,
are going to get a lot of those
life
as well. But CoreJJ, every player in the league, always talking about, like you were saying earlier, just such an oppressive presence on the map as he roams around. And now we're going to see a 3v2 on top side where they have a lot of wards. We've been talking about this, duo for TL. They've got plenty of vision here, so they see River come to clear it out, even though as 100 Thieves rematch with their lane assignments and hover with jungle, it's not really going to relieve too much pressure.
And the big thing for me here is how Impact came out in this swap, right? Look, he's about to push Sniper out of lane.
Yeah, Sniper
potentially
getting
kill
pretty
him.
low. If he stays around, he could be going down. One last Bellows breath. He claps him over the head. But on the other side, it's UmTi in trouble, knocked back into the team, and he's surely going to be going down. But the rest of the fight might go the other way because Impact and Yeon are here. APA arrives as well. Core sent packing, though, as he's got to flash over the wall to get out to safety. So a big play from Impact on the bot side, but it's 100 Thieves fighting back and looking to reap the rewards of that. They're on the grubs.
Yeah, and look at Impact pushing down this.
Oh, the hook. It's a swing and a miss, and now Core may be stuck in. Flash forward. It's the twisted advance to follow it up from Eyla. And they're going to look for this first kill. Yeon can be caught nice. Killer instinct over the wall. APA flashes in, gets one. They're all getting AoE down.
APA.
Quid is low. Ayla's low. Tomo flashing in, trying to finish off Yeon. But Yeon just dashes out, gets to safety using the flash, and barely survives. And now TL back to the grubs. They're going to be able to take him.
And we talked about how this Vi-Taliyah combo isn't necessarily the way we've seen TL play this summer, right? But Taliyah is one of APA's strongest champions. He has such a good read on how to be able to play, when to come in, his angles on the rock. So even when Core hits this, he gets rooted up here, goes down. APA is able to clean up, and also Yeon is untouched as well.
The biggest thing to me, too, is that this is a huge tempo play for TL because they were at the numbers disadvantage, but had the 2 extra people going for resets. Impact, you mentioned him, farming the turret plate money and getting his reset off. And then with UmTi coming up as well, getting the extra kills there. With that big AoE, despite the numbers disadvantage, they still go for it. I mean, Team Liquid, I just love the new version of Team Liquid. Because if you remember a couple years ago, the old, slower version, obviously different players as well. This one, though, constantly pushing tempo, constantly forcing plays. It has been a breath of fresh air, except it has been very, very annoying for Sniper to deal with this game as everyone keeps swapping over to him and diving him and going numbers.
Sniper alone.
Yeah, we saw that quote from Sniper in the lounge as well, where he was like, yeah, I had to get used to lane swaps. Not most top laners, I'd say, are generally not a fan of them. And he, again, because of this swap coming through, has had such a tough time in this game as a Renekton that should be ahead.
It's gonna get worse. Here's the combo coming in. Nice flash out, though. He's trying to turn around. APA tanking the tower critically, though, so UmTi did not get tower aggro.
That means there's going to be a cross-map play here on the other side.
How much are they going to get? It's a cross-map play, but it's from TL instead. The TP coming across the map. The Hex Flash in the ulti. It's going to follow it up from them. No, he can't. He gets rooted up. Impact can't actually redirect the ulti across Tomo and Eyla, so they're lacking the damage to finish him off. Flash forward, though, coming through. APA arrives. Another TP coming in on the other side. This one's from Quid. The seismic shove, not timed just right, but Impact is killing him in the back line. He's got a double already. He's got a triple. He wants more, but Sniper and Quid are here. The seismic shove off of the combo. Can it be an Ornn Benton? No! APA takes it away. They're going to get all 5 on the top side, though. TL crushing through 100 Thieves.
Oh my goodness. Team Liquid just don't stop. Impact teleports into the top lane, flashes forwards. That double knockup from the alcove.
That was so good.
That was beautiful. He draws them into the alcove, running away on Ornn, but turns around to get the double knockup set up for APA. Absolutely beautiful. So here was the beginning of it. And you actually see some really good return damage from 100 Thieves to take down Yeon. But Impact says, no problem. Me and Core are the carries.
Yeah, and Impact is so tanky at this point that APA already has the read on to Quid when he comes in. And again, this combination from Impact into the APA flip back is so
I wanted the
good.
Ornn Penta so bad.
Same. APA cleaning up those 2 kills.
How could you?
If there was a way we could have given it to the Ornn, would have been great. APA's already typing.
Yeah, he's typing and then he typed again.
Yappa is the best emote that we have ever made, by the way.
It's true.
XD30 prep for dig now. Oh my god.
It's game 1, man.
Come on, bro.
Game 1 Andy right now. Honestly, though, there's a reason they have so much confidence.
Yeah, the lane swaps are looking pretty good, averaging 2,000 gold ahead. In this game, it's 6K already. Impact in the middle of 4, but he might like those odds because the rest of TL is coming in, and Impact is still alive for now, turning around with the Bellows Breath. The ulti coming through from Core across multiple members. It's 1-0 for now, but Sniper's going to ball the seismic shove, catches another, the killer instinct. Yeon's got it, and he's got another kill. 15-5, 7,000 gold lead, 15 minutes in. This one is a stomp.
Yeah, I was going to circle where we were at and the fact that they already had a 5K or so gold lead. They just added another at least 1,000 to that. And now, yeah, we're really going to see TL begin to choke them out on the map. This map is going to get even scarier.
Yeah,
for 100 Thieves.
I think they've already deprived them of a lot of oxygen as far as the pace of this game. We're only 16 minutes in. I love this supercharged TL. What do you think Spawn's coaching opening speech was for the game number 1? He was like, you know what? Everybody, just go out there, game number 1, turn it up to 12 as far as the speed goes, and just have some fun out there.
Well, if you remember, he was the one on Twitter, the 3K gold lead for, and also the 1.2 for for Core as well. He was the one who, when facing 100 Thieves in spring, was like, we need to get more aggressive, right? Because we know that 100 Thieves want to play fast. That was back when TL, I believe, was the slowest team in the world at that time. And it was that initial playoff series against 100 Thieves where they really, really showed their explosiveness. And now they're showing it again against 100 Thieves in something that's looking a little bit similar to when they met in spring.
I'm always super biased for dive comps. I just love dive comps. They always, create so much excitement like this. They create these types of snowballs. And when you're running a dive comp like Team Liquid, with Kai'Sa here for Yeon to be able to follow up, like you're saying, step number 2 after the early lead is completely take over vision through the jungle. That way, 100 Thieves have nowhere to actually keep up in farm, nowhere to keep up in resources. So TL doing a very good job, kind of step by step, taking away any territory for 100 Thieves to go for. Woo.
And yeah, Eyla is going to get knocked up. He's going to go down first.
Yeah, Ayla's in trouble here. It's going to be a turn on to Sniper. Sniper bursts down. Mom comes across, but it does absolutely nothing. 2 kills for TL. And it's going to be a clean fight again for them. They'll take the advantage and they'll just back off. The gold lead now nearing 10,000. Multiple items getting completed here for TL on these bases as well. It's hard to see 100 Thieves hanging on too long in this one.
Yeah, and they even APA TPing up topside to get vision control here. They can't even go for Baron yet because it's so early on in the game. But back to your point, Kobe, when we looked at this draft, it was going to be like, okay, can the carries of 100 Thieves be able to kite back off of those initial engages? Once this comp got rolling, that just got so much more difficult, and you saw that in that bot dive where they were just so easily be able to take down that turret and clean up a few kills.
Yeah, kind of the 4.5 minute to 8 minute mark of the multiple swaps back for TL after the initial swap and after they are able to stabilize. Is where they're able to build their gold lead, and we saw a lot of the mastery from Team Liquid come in their skirmishes.
Yeah.
Specifically some of their numbers disadvantage even skirmishes that they were able to take and able to win. Of course, a lot of the dives, specifically onto Sniper, also highly benefiting them. But as you can see now, it is so much easier with a 9,000 gold lead to just keep the lights completely off 400 Thieves here, litter the jungle with your wards, continue to collect all of your neutral objectives, and you're actually on such a quick pace that you have to wait around a little bit. You have to take a deep breath and not dive too deep to throw anything back, because everything on the map should be yours for the taking.
River and Sniper are just getting completely starved out of this game, but we got to talk a bit more about TL. The first team All-Pro awards, 4 out of 5 of them were in first team. For a couple of them, this was their first time. For APA and Yeon, first time actually getting awarded that first team All-Pro. UmTi did get third team, which they took some exception to. They had some words about that, and now trying to prove himself a little bit more on these carries. I think it's hard to get first team All-Pro when you are playing more that supportive style. But UmTi bringing out the Vi in this first game, looking really, really good at it. And Impact hadn't actually gotten first team All-Pro in quite a few years. He's usually up there, usually in second, sometimes in third, but this time definitely in the running for that MVP, and unanimously did get that first team All-Pro in top lane, which I don't know if I've ever seen. Every single person who could vote for him did.
Yeah, not only is Impact really good individually, but he's also the one most credited with a lot of TL's macro and lane swap success. And I see him on the top of another list here. That would be the gold difference list. If you look at the scoreboard right now, that is an Ornn player with the giant lead in this game. Of course, it's a little bit mean because Sniper also got dove by other people. It wasn't a 1 versus 1 type of gold lead.
Never a fair fight.
But that's why so many people have so many kind words for Impact.
Yeah, it's a lot, like you said, about the swap backs in the lane swap and just general lane assignments, but then also knowing that they have to target this Renekton, right? Like, they don't want this to be a pushing lane that 100 Thieves could play around early. As we see, UmTi is just taking this Drake for free. This map has become absolutely miserable for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really tough. Also, remember tomorrow, C9 versus FlyQuest should be an absolute banger. Those two teams, along with TL, rounding out the top 3, definitely the favorites to make it to Worlds and to make it to the LCS Finals weekend.
He got some. APA got some of those. The gold was kind of hidden there. Didn't see exactly how many, but he got a piece of those Raptors. They really have to fight for every single little, even chicken nugget on Summoner's Rift.
It's a 3-level diff in the jungle right now. It's a 2-level diff in top lane. You know, River is completely starved out of this game. Core is honestly pretty close as far as experience and even total gold to the enemy jungler. It's a rough spot to be in as a Maokai.
All right, do also kind of want to talk, since we have plenty of time, since I think everybody knows the direction this game is going. Some of the buffs here. Cosmic Drive is actually one of my favorite new buffed up items. They added a flat 100 health for free, no cost increase on this item. Plus they increased the move speed that you get with the proc from it. I think it is just in general so efficient now, such a strong item. We saw it pop up a little bit in the LPL. I forget who was playing it, but it was a Mordekaiser top who actually rushed it. It has actually popped up in win rates on a lot of the stat websites for solo queue as well. I always pay attention to Volibear, and it's actually a very high win rate rush item for anyone who values both HP as well as AP. And so, you know, some of the buffs to some of the more fringe AP items have been nice to track. I like to see APA actually getting in on that, especially Taliyah, who does benefit from move speed.
Definitely. 11,000 now, the gold lead. They take out the tier 2 top. They threaten the wraparound there. Then they drop to the ult behind them mid tier 2. This is just expertly done. And honestly, there's not much of an opportunity for 100 Thieves to respond to it at all. Now the TP coming in towards mid. That one is from Quid, as Sniper's just going to base. Trying to get out here. This could be a fight. This could be a potential Hail Mary. But I mean, if 100 Thieves commit to a fight now, you have to think they just get decimated.
Yeah.
So they do have their second item completions. Maybe their thought is, we have 2 items, they don't have 3. This is our only chance.
Yeah, Sniper actually completed his recall, as you were saying, so he could finish his Steric's Gauge. And they're thinking maybe right exactly on the pinpoint of our 2 item spikes. Maybe TL will force it and we can actually turn around a play. But TL, they wisely hold onto their cooldowns. Look at APA's inventory. 2 rods. You know what that turns into? A death cap. And that is going to be insane to have a 3-item power spike Taliyah with one of them being the fully completed death cap here really early on into this game. So Team Liquid, they know they have such a large wallet advantage that they don't have to force anything. And you will know when they do because they have super long range Ornn ultimate and the double point and click that we mentioned earlier. So anybody from 100 Thieves here that is too far, even in their own jungle, is liable to get picked, like Sniper.
Oh, yeah, Sniper's in trouble. They're behind him, and he's going to get flicked back off of that for sure. Sniper looks like he's slated to go down, trying to get out, does flash. The killer instinct is there to follow. Yeon claims another victim. 100 Thieves trying to push up mid, but TL could just go to the Baron if they want.
Yeah, you see the double basically globals to follow up there from APA and
the fight now. It's River that gets caught. The turnaround engage coming through from Eyla. They're going to try to turn this one around. They do get a kill onto CoreJJ, but it's UmTi and Impact into the back line. Tomo's gone. Quid's on the run, and Yeon is hunting down River. Everyone from the Thieves, but River will fall. TL going to be turning their eyes on the Baron, you have to think.
Yeah, and I think this is exactly what we see from TL, why they're so scary, is they force you into making these decisions, right? Like 100 Thieves, they're trying to push down on this turret. Core goes in, and even though Eyla is able to get back, and the Mom actually ends up doing a lot of damage, Impact is right there with the ultimate and the knockup.
Yeah, if you're going back and you're thinking, all right, what were the comms like on 100 Thieves? They were most probably, from looking at their movement in that macro sequence, they were thinking, oh, TL, they're probably instantly on Baron after they got that pick on Sniper. So let's try and at least get something for ourselves and try and push on mid. You know, maybe we could sneak an objective bounty while TL go for the Baron. But TL, again, wisely, they know we are the gods of Summoner's Rift at the moment, so you don't get anything. We don't have to trade you anything. There's no trade deals being offered. We're not going to do Baron and let you even have a tiny crumb of anything back. So they go for the kills first. Like, get off that mid tower, then we'll go get the Baron when we feel like it, and we'll return to finish the job.
Yeah, TL just offering them defeat, nothing else so far. Impact had a nasty Ornn combo, by the way. Ulted, flash forward for a faster redirect, hit both the AD carries, then a double knockup, double his Bellows Rest. He got so much damage done on the backline. Nasty fight from him as now TL looking to put the finishing touches on a beautiful game number 1. 15,000, you heard that right, is the gold lead. Only 26 minutes in. They're marching on the Nexus towers. APA throws down the Weaver's wall. Eyla caught on the wrong side, and they're going to turn on him. Sniper going to dash over the wall, but Eyla is gone already. Sniper in trouble as well. Yeon free firing onto him. Quid and Tomo trying to get the work done on the other side. Timback getting low. TL getting pushed back a little, but another does fall, and now it's UmTi going to the backline, gets deleted. It's a 3v3, it looks like, on the map, excuse me, a 3v4. Liquid having the extra man, but they are getting really low here, and Quid does have the 225 stack, so he has that true damage, execute, and burn. Impact, though, warmoxing up on the side. I don't think they're going to be able to hold the line. Impact can just go forward again now, as he's back to full health. Tomo into the stasis, survives for now, but River going to fall. Tomo's gone as well. It's Quid versus the world, and I don't like those odds. Team Liquid take game number 1.
And what a game from Team Liquid. This, again, when we talk about why every team is saying Team Liquid is the team to beat, this is the top LCS team. You see them come out, we're like, 100 Thieves look better against Dignitas. Maybe they can show us something. TL come out with a new creative look at this swap. In particular, their swap back was great. They get Impact so far ahead, and he and Core kind of took over this game.
And I would just say the individual plays of CoreJJ early on this Nautilus did so much work, both on the bottom side of the map and on the top side skirmishes.
So annoying.
Impressive stuff from TL, but a reminder to all you LCS fans out there, next week we'll be live on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's a bonus day on Friday, and then our regularly scheduled programming on Saturday and Sunday, so don't miss out. Now let's head on over to the LCS Lounge to break that one down.
Thank you, and I think Emily might like this one, because we are going to talk about the swaps.
Oh, there we go.
This was a lot of individual play and less about the crazy thing that TL did at the start and more about how they responded to the rest of the swap. So let's pop in right here. And this initial situation where the support is 1v1 bottom against the AD carry and then their top laner doesn't dive would be considered in a lot of cases to be not a good start to the swap, because after this dive doesn't happen, Sniper has a small experience advantage over Impact, so Renekton against Ornn seems good for 100 Thieves. And then bottom lane, Tomo got level 4 and CoreJJ got level 4. So you'd also think slight experience advantage for the AD carry would be good, but it's more about what you do after the fact. So one great bit of individual play that CoreJJ did right here was just a godlike hook under the turret against Tomo. You do have to note, though, that he is level 5, so he's 3 points E against the level 3 Rell, which means that all in is still going to be favored for Team Liquid. Gotta do a quick shout out to this amazing hook, though, as he's managed to lollipop it. Then when this minion dies, Tomo's the closest to the turret, so he also takes a turret shot. Just ridiculous. But beautiful. The reason we're talking about this segment in general is more about how they play the map from this state. So if you remember, there's a slight experience advantage on the Renekton versus the Ornn, but boy is it slight. It's about half a level. Sniper wants to use this advantage, so immediately Team Liquid take their bot lane advantage and move it top lane. So they come straight out as Sniper tries to contest this wave, hoping to hit 6 first and then maybe fight Impact in a 1v1. The bot lane arrives, they kill Sniper, they get the solo kill. To add insult to injury, the decision tree doesn't stop here. Like, they could absolutely then just reset their bot lane back to bot lane, but instead they use the teleport from Impact to catch this wave, and they keep these guys top. After this, it is honestly just basically them outplaying, but it's continuing to use the advantages they've gained. They managed to kill Sniper under turret in a 2v1. And then on the bot side, when Impact is just ridiculously far ahead, he completes a Thornmail and also executes his own solo kill onto Sniper. But the biggest point of this, and Treats, you and I were talking about this before, is that the initial advantage was a small experience advantage for CoreJJ, and then they just ping-ponged that around the map to grow to like a 4,000 gold lead.
Yeah, I think what's impressive is kind of the, like you said as well, it's not the initial lane swap. I think sometimes they don't do it perfectly, TL. Like this game, I think Impact could TP bot and kind of soaked more XP for himself. They tried the top dive, didn't work. That's already kind of a small failure for them. But like you said, it's the decisions afterwards that matter. And I think TL, a lot of the times, if there's 50 decisions in a lane swap, they do 45 of them very, very well. Whereas 100 Thieves, maybe they do 20 or 30 pretty well. I think that's kind of what sets TL apart in the lane swaps. And I think that's going to be hard for 100 Thieves to overcome, right? It's hard to kind of get that experience throughout the series and kind of adapt better. And I think a lot of it is just adapting, and it's hard to learn that on the spot.
And how frustrating must it be for a sniper who's in that position that gets that experience advantage that feels like, okay, now's the time.
He didn't get to play the game.
He didn't. Like, Ornn was half HP, no mana. He's like, this is the time to go for it. Random swap, he dies, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because those are the type of swaps that you have to fear the most. I mean, historically, a lot of those times where swapping was in the meta in 2016 to 2018 or 2020, where it's like, if a team just has tempo bot lane and they just make a random swap happen, you have no vision of it happening.
Yep.
And the bot lane's conditioned to be like, well, they're on a base timer, they're just going to come back to lane, but they're in the opposite lane.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of heads up that you can give.
And what's funny is after this happened to Sniper in game 1, in game 2, when he's about to hit level 6, he's going to hesitate.
Yeah.
He's going to wonder where the bot lane is.
CoreJJ?
Can I kill him? And
Yeah.
then you see the replay and you're like, damn, he was alone.
Yeah, I could have killed
should
him.
have just done it.
Another highlight from this game, though, was we almost had an Ornn Penta, man.
That would be crazy.
It was
yeah.
so close.
I
This
mean,
would have been
Impact
the
was
funniest
so far ahead this game, and like he just looks like Thanos when he comes into this fight, right? He has a Thorn Mail. I think he almost had a Jack Shot at this point too. He's completely unkillable.
Just flashes into Tomo.
I mean, Tomo's like, he can't even hit back because he has a Thorn Mail. So, I mean, this fight was hilarious. I think, honestly, Yappa, you should have given this Penta.
Please.
I mean, I think he was a little worried about them killing Impact because it is a full health Quid and Sniper, but like right here, stop hitting. Just let the Ornn do it.
At that point, there's no apology. If you're watching that replay, it's like, nah, you intentionally took the kill, buddy. But like,
instantly.
me when I'm apologizing to my teammate. But yes, it's actually hilarious watching this game through. And I mean, we were talking about it behind the scenes. Like after that early game, it just feels over instantly.
Yeah.
Like there's no way it feels like that you can come back. You're always going to be there ready to receive a throw, but if it's against Team Liquid, it's not going to come.
It's going to be hard to bounce back from that. That was somewhat of the game 1 we expected with the undefeated Team Liquid against the number 5 seed. Before we get to break, though, we do have a secret exam. It is time for an LCS secret exam. So
I saw this on the side and I was worried.
Listen to this. So a new skin line is coming out called Day Jobs. It has skins for Azir and Thresh. We're debuting the Thresh Day Job skin.
Okay.
So we're going to have a pixelated version of the Thresh skin splash art, and we're going to have 60 seconds to guess the Day Job.
Oh, okay. We can do this.
Let's.
Confident.
I haven't seen this. Okay.
What is even this?
We need more pixels.
Thresh.
This is like, okay, we're getting a few more pixels.
What are the people that like
It's just like
harvest and
construction or
control
something?
bees?
I couldn't even tell that this would be Thresh at this point.
I would say
beehive-
something with construction.
Yeah, construction worker probably. I'm going construction worker.
Would Thresh be? I mean, at this point, I'm just thinking thematically, what would Thresh be?
You just took my guess, Raz?
Yes, I just
like
stole it. Literally, yeah.
I'm waiting more than the first 20 seconds. It's ridiculous at the moment. We need to see more.
Yellow. Like, did he just turn into a bee?
We just changed the pixels. No, we didn't even make it less pixelated.
Wait, they're just moving them around?
Yeah,
Oh, they're increasing the number.
It's getting clearer and clearer.
Yeah.
I can't think of one. I literally can't.
Okay, every time it updates, I feel like it's supposed to be clearer, and then it's still not clear at all.
Exactly, yeah.
Is he like a conservationist? Is he out in the ocean just clearing up garbage?
I mean, is he mining oil? I feel like
that's a good one.
It's
something.
Industrial Thresh?
Guys, I'm losing hope in
I
all
said
of us.
construction worker first, Raz, just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say dock worker Thresh.
I'm gonna look
That's
at the
going to be
Twitch
my
chat.
guess.
I'm cheating.
Okay,
Someone
our
said
time's up.
miner.
We're headed for a break. While we wait, think about what you think Thresh's day job
Wait, someone
skin
said
is.
a fisherman.
No, it's going to be revealed after the break. So tune in then. We'll be back in 3 minutes. See you soon.
I'm stealing chats.